Right, Konbawa. So, yes, we have the late night dinner stream because someone has slept again. But you can't guess who, folks. And missed regular meal time, so once again I'll be having dinner at night. But hey, what better time to be alive? You're plugged in. And this is why it's part one, because I'm going to try this out. If it will behave. Right. Which is using the laptop to stream from. Because we had horrific lag when I used the PC upstairs and I'm down here and use the webcam feature. Just wonder if in the same room it might that be better, and also we can do wire direct to the PC. But I know there is going to be Windows updates for this. Because it's been that long since I've put anything on it that that's just the sort of thing that happens, you know. Right. Okay. I need a mouse really, but hey. Oh, what is that? Connect it off with the tweeters. Yes, I can. Right. So tonight, to begin the stream, we have D5117 on a mixed freight on the track, and C5074 on the outer track. Or maybe it's 74 anyway. I want to say it's 74. On a passenger train. Oh, 54. 54 then, 20 less. Everything's up late on here. Right. And still saying, I will now go and get my drink. I have all the metal stairs, but hey, we're getting there. I'll fetch the iPad as well so we can I can actually share this out, because the minute the laptop's not really in his state to do anything like that, I'll get the food in the oven. Okay. No one's in yet. dry. What's this? OneDrive isn't signed in. Ah, okay. We've got one Steam register there. Excuse me. Settings. Okay, so yes, the C50 was actually the first N-Gage model that Kato made, and this one was released as the 50th anniversary from 1965 to 2015. Special anniversary set to celebrate that. First model, it's an N-Gage model in 1965 of the C50, is their first N-Gage model, followed by one of the coaches that you see it pulling, one of the passenger cars you see it pulling. These are all more modern iterations of the same thing, as the engine being the official release, and the coach has been a more recent release. Sort of representing, I suppose here we could really represent a interwar, Second War era sort of train. These cars are smaller, I call them my suburban stock usually, but with the D51 running 1936, seems about right for this sort of train, but I can't comment for the cars that the D51's pulling. They may take us beyond that. Don't wait the image file. We'll go with that. I'm going to do one of those things. I've all for each to their own, but geez, queuing early morning to get your Greg's apparel from Primark. Probably go online and get something similar like that, and without the queue. Right, it's gone out to the four corners of the known world. Oh, that's going to end so badly, but hey, we're not here to talk politics, are we? Yeah. So, welcome, or sorry, konbawa to anyone joining us. We have, I've just got the message out far and wide. Just saw something about the ongoing situation in Ukraine. I just want to have a quick check. But yes, so C50 on the outer track and D51 on the inner track. You know me, there's going to be a D51 somewhere. D51 17 on the mixed rate, the slug type again. Just enough running this one usually, so we're really going to give it a bit of fun. And also the C50 hasn't had much of a run. So we're on part 1 because you may hear a fan in the background or a machinery revving up and down. It's my gaming laptop that I bought many years ago now. It was actually in use by my brother for a long time with that. He no longer requires it, having a gaming PC. And basically, I'm planning to run the stream from it. This part 2 should be from the laptop if there's actually get around that time. I might just spend most of this just getting new updates on and so on. Because it hasn't been on for a few months now. In fact, it's the first time I switched on this year. Just going to give it a second to react to the typing I've just done. So, yeah. It's a powerful machine, don't get me wrong. It's safe, just hasn't been on it so long that it's got a lot to download. Do you know what? I'm going to shut that up because that's actually starting to get on my nerves now. Function key and mutables. There we are. Mutables is muted. So this is the sort of session I do usually avoid because, as I say, some of the freight cars, I'm not too savvy with some of the years of the freight cars, but the engines are both 30s era. So in theory it's a 30s setup. It's usually something I shy away from. But at the same time, this could easily be post-war. So, but it's just nice to see an engine like the C50 that we haven't seen that much at all really on streams before running. So I hope you enjoy that as much as I do. These passenger cars it's pulling, they literally only got converted, well, 2 of them were converted already because we used them on the Happiness line, on the last streams on there. But the remaining 3 only got converted to knuckle couplers last night. So, you know, it's a pretty new train all in all, and I, for one, am actually very pleased with it. It's another different type of passenger train. You know, we've got the red stripes, the blue stripes, and something different for you folks to look at. I hope you like it. And for those who are joining, Konbawa, late night dinner stream, because I had my counselling assessment appointment today. It took 2 hours, and I was mentally exhausted at the end of that, let alone physically tired, which I then was from working extra damn hard. Not because I felt I had to make time, but just because I wanted to get a particular job done. But I basically didn't sit down for the rest of the afternoon whilst I was doing other stuff. I know it's woe is me, but yeah, basically fell asleep when I came home and, well, watched 2 episodes of MASH, sorry. I did watch 2 episodes of MASH, then I fell asleep. But then, you know, doesn't mean I haven't had dinner yet. So, you get to dine with me again. I do possess a picture here of the original 1965 C50 model. I will show you. So if you will pick it up properly, I'll put that there and pull you up. Oh. There we are, there's the 1965 model. And right on cue, there's the modern day one. So you see a lot of the pipe work isn't there, it's not quite as high fidelity. Probably overscale for N as well. Excuse me, but in 1965 the motor was in the tender, connected by, is it a Cardan shaft? That's like Dapol used, but the motor's in the tender and it connects to the driving wheels that way for a shaft that goes from tender into the locomotive. This one has a detailed cab and motor inside the engine. And good evening, Thomas West. I hope you are well too. And thank you. Yes, we have 2 running at the minute. We have the C50 Mogul, which is just coming into a shop now. It's passenger train. There it is. C50-54. It's just saying this is a 50th anniversary locomotive to celebrate 50 years of Kato in 2015. Their very first model was a C50 like that in 1965, and this one came out in 2015. On the inner track, on the mixed freight, we have D51 Namakuji Gata, or slug type, D5117 on that mixed freight there. And if you observe as the train goes past, Ichigo number 1 is in the gondola, which is a 3D print from Small Loco Works. Which is our good pal, Killian Keane. And how are you, sir? And, oh, by the way, yes, sorry, you did ask. I am not as absolutely drained as I was before I went to sleep, so that's a good thing. And I'm looking forward to some nom-noms. I'm enjoying running some trains. And I'm hoping this laptop will hurry up and update next to me. But I was pending install on quite a few of them. We've got a driver base. Oh, we'll take those. Oh yes, we'll take these. Give me all the driver baits. We do like those. For the rest of the evening, I do have other plans. We have the EF13 sat here, which I would like to run, with Super 32 coach set. And this was recreating the picture actually on the Super 32 coach sets. It comes with like a... Obviously, you get the instructions with a model locomotive or a model train set or something. But that pack of carriages has its own little information booklet, or the instruction sheet or whatever, service sheet you want to call it. On the front of these Kato ones, they generally will put a photograph of the real train. Now, that book set is purely a coach, a set of coaches, so passenger cars, and the steam heat car. There's no locomotive included, but they still have this picture at the front, and the picture is of EF1312 pulling this rake, and that is EF1312. So we're going to recreate the photograph, or the service represented in the photograph, with tonight with that, and also have the real difference of the two passenger trains going past, because the coaches or passenger cars are longer for the Super 32 than they are for what the C50 is pulling down here. There he goes. Right, stock you have. I only do British, but I'm restarting to go and drop your trains, and thank you. Might buy a loco. Which do you think I should buy first? I'm that's right. I'll get my worms out. I'm not very good at getting my words out. So I am grateful. I'm glad that you feel motivated or moved to enter the world of Japanese railways. My question to you would be: do you like steam or diesel, or electric most? What form of traction do you enjoy most? And then I have another question, which is: do you want a self-contained set, so you can buy a locomotive with some passenger cars ready to go, and that's a complete, that's a complete train in the box? Or would you be happy buying your set of passenger cars and your locomotive separately? So you want a steam locomotive? That's cool. Because I have something in mind already that I can recommend, and it was actually my first foray into Japanese air. You buy the train separately. Okay, so you've got quite a few options then in some ways. Well, upcoming there is... here we go, I suppose. Would you want it Steam era? Now, Steam ended in 1976, 75, 76 in Japan. Or would you be happy with a train that runs now? Because, for instance, okay, this is a complete set all in one box, but that's SL Yamaguchi, which contains D51-200. So you get D51 and you get the 5-coach Yamaguchi, SL Yamaguchi service. Which runs now, but those are modern passenger cars, but built in the old style, so they look like old ones. It's a nice set. Or there is, just about to be released, D51-498, being released separately, and then there's a set of coaches that it does pull being released it as well. If you want something Steam era, then do you want a express passenger engine or a mixed traffic engine? There weren't really dedicated freighter locos, so express or mixed traffic is my next question then. And I'm just need to go and sort them out quickly, add some cheese, and then I'll be back. Right, sorry about that. So, I will try and read your answers, Thomas. Mixed traffic and passengers. Oh, blimey, you want both. Well, mixed traffic engine, you've got a lot of choice out there. I would advise, I take it if you do British, you are British based, UK based. So I would recommend buying something from a store in the UK, because otherwise you face potential import tax and things, and you don't really want that as your first experience of buying in Japanese trains. So there's a few options to you there. There's Train Tracks, which is literally train tracks, but this is it's spelled with an X at the end, so TRAX. Gagemaster do sell Japanese trains. If you're familiar with Oak Hill, then he can get Kato in for you as well at the Eastbourne Model Shop. Let's see if the shill's about. But yes, he can also get them as well. So yes, Gagemaster do sell some. I'm not sure what they have in stock, but so for mixed traffic engines, your D51s such as that are mixed traffic engine. Primarily for freight, but they are mixed traffic engine. Any of your moguls are good mixed traffic engines. So C50, C56, an A620. Yeah. Actually, do you know what? Give me a British engine you'd like an equivalent of, and I'll try and name one. That might be better. Something else might loading still. Are you an N-Gauge modeler, Thomas? Are you okay with the N-Gauge, yeah? Schools class or a P class? Oh, okay, so what can we think of that's close to that? So, 440s in Japan die out fairly early on. They're replaced by a lot of moguls. I say early on. Sort of by... There are some still running later, but development has really stopped sort of by 1914 time, when the 8620 mogul came out. The P class, wow, that will be really hard to find in an equivalent of, because there are tank engines. 002 N-Gauge from Model Road Club and the 3 N-Gauge from Royal Okay, that's fine, because I was going to say Japanese HO is beautiful but incredibly expensive. If you think the latest Hornby announcements are expensive, wait till you see the Tenshido models. Gorgeous but expensive. Yes, and there are some very small ones out there, but nothing cheaply available that's sort of in that category for Steam. So the schools class, as I say, an engine like that, A620. Honestly, I would go for one of these. I would go for one of those. Or the C50 you just in Compass. Either of those two. Capable of some high speed running. Powerful engines. You know, that's the closest to schools I can think I can get. There. These ones they're technically pre-grouping. If you want to in British terms, these are the 1914 built locomotives. They were still working right at the end of Steam in 1975, 76, and yeah, they were superb locomotives. At the upper end of the scale, if you like your... Okay, so I'm guessing you're southern based, with the schools in the P class as my guide. So if you want the equivalent to your Merchant Navy, that would be a C62, which is actually a Baltic rule arrangement. That would be huge. Or if you want a light Pacific equivalent, the West Country Battle Britain equivalent, then the C57 is not a bad shout. And in fact, I know Train Tracks have basically got one of those in stock at the minute. And they could pull freight. I've seen those on freight as well, just like the real Light Pacifics were. Not just like the real light, just like the UK Light Pacifics were, except you got a proper boiler and everything like that. Yeah, there's quite a lot of options. The thing is that production runs, to my knowledge and what I've experienced, seems to be quite short run. So you might struggle to find a few things that you're seeing running here, but you'll be able to get something. So some things like D51s and C57s are always being made. The C62 has just been re-released, so you should see those around. 8620 is the one sat in front of you is relatively recent release. Now these models do represent the locomotives in their later life, when there's been duplicate numbers being used, because as you can see, the number is not just 4 digits. You got a 5-digit number there. I think that's 69. Yeah. What's that? Let's have a look. No, 38696 there. So you see it's had a 3 added to the beginning. Its original number would have just been 8636. But, oh dear, we've got spam. I don't like spam. Billy James. We don't do spam. There we go. Good job I had the iPad next to me. We'll keep that open just in case. Notify systems important security updates and quality fixes. Yeah, so that would be my sort of suggestions for starting out. And passenger car wise, if you can track down one of the Super 32 coach sets, then I would recommend it, because you get... Now, excuse me, my hair is going to be an absolute mess, but you get this coach set here. So this is 10-7-3-20 Super 32 Showline. The reason why I say that is in the box, it's a nice bookcase thing as well. There's that photograph I mentioned earlier on, we're going to be recreating later on in the stream. Because that electric locomotive is the one sat opposite. But there you are, you get a full train in there. Working taillights on that car, working taillights on that car, depending on which way the train is going. You get the steam heat one, so if you get some electric later on, you can do. But yeah, in the meter space you get a full passenger train, which will work with just about anything you want to run it with. And that's all steam era. That would be a huge recommendation when it comes to passenger cars, and I say that from experience because I did buy initially, let's pop that over there, did buy initially some passenger cars just separately, just winging it sort of thing, and then these are 2 of them. I had no idea what the formation should be or anything at that time, so that, because they're in the order they need to be running, that is my recommendation over these straight away. And it stops scaring you now. But yes. Price range Japanese engage? No, I don't mind asking at all. So, it's insanely cheap, really, I feel, for what you're getting. So, the coach set can be a little bit expensive because I had to buy it in from Japan. But if you look around, say look at Train Tracks, look at Gauge Master, they'll have something similar on there. If not that set, they'll have something similar. Coaches, you're probably looking 120, 140. But you break that down per coach, it's a bit more reasonable. For the locomotives, steam locomotives, again you're looking at 120 range. They sometimes are cheaper. Diesels and electrics can be stupidly cheap. You can buy brand new diesels and electrics for 50 quid, 30 quid, 34 quid. And those are ones that will play with the steam engines nicely, or they're in the same era and will work with the steam locomotives nicely. Freight stock. So you wanted to get yourself some freight stock, such as what we've seen there. Now that's an interesting one because that comes in at around £10 to £15 mark, but something like the gondola that Ichigo number 1's in will be that on its own. It's about 8. I think that was actually about 8 quid, that one, to be honest. But that you get just that one gondola in the pack. But if you take the 2 black box vans behind the locomotive, the 2 open wagons, there's one with a blue load in it, or the 4 black and green wagons at the end, which are actually for carrying things like rice and straw and that sort of thing, they're ventilated tops on them. You get the double sets, so you buy one set for like 10 quid or whatever, and you get 2 wagons. So you get, both of these 2 in one box. So you can build a freight train up quite quickly, quite cheaply. And then it's about 15 quid again, 10 to 15 quid for the caboose. But as you can see, they've got lights in them mostly as well. So, yeah. That's your sort of price point. Comparatively to what it's costing for British Engage at the minute, or Continental European Engage, I think it's a steal. Let's tilt you up a little bit because I'm trying to get the trains in the middle of the screen. Get that restarted, do I? But yeah, that's the knuckle couplings are separate. They are a kit. I will be doing a video actually of fitting knuckle couplings to the container train, so you'll be able to see how they go. So you can see how they go together in that. But all of the locomotives actually come with a choice of Knuckles or the Arnold style coupling, the more regular, sometimes it's called the Rapido coupling that we're more familiar with on Engage, on the UK market especially. But they will come with those fitted, and then you get the option of the knuckle in the box with the engine. One of the other really nice features I like about Japanese steam especially is unless you buy a specific locomotive such as C57-1, I don't know, that might not come with them fitted already, but some locomotives come with their number plates already fitted to them. But most of the time, even with something like D51-200, which was a special boxing for that engine, you got a choice of number plate because there's a red-backed one and a black-backed one. Both have been used or are used at different times, and you get the choice between those two, so you get to fit those yourself. But on something like D57, D5117 here, it comes with like 4 different members of the class. Classworth number plates in the box, and I got to choose which one I wanted to represent. Now I try and make sure I've got a photograph in my collection of photographs that I've made from the web, so I can go, I've got a picture of the real one. And D5117 was the first slug type that I found that I had a photograph of and was in the box. But yeah, you get to choose that. And it's the same for these right up to modern day diesels and electrics. A lot of the time will let you choose what number you have in it, and that goes to Tomix as well. Tomix is a bit of a strange one because there's no UK seller of Tomix itself. There's the chassis you can get, there's some of the other bits and pieces you can get, but you can't get the Japanese range as such here, which is sad because Tomix do some really great stuff. And their role in the world, as far as I can tell, is to be a cheaper alternative to Kato, but the models are just as good, in my opinion. And for units especially, you can't beat Tomix for ease of putting on the track and taking off things. So you'll use the Arnold style or Rapido style coupling, as opposed to Kato, which these days has been trying to use more and more miniatures of the real couplings, and yeah, they clip together and unclip, and it's a bit scary doing that sometimes. But hey ho, it is what it is. And when you're streaming, it's really is a pain in the backside to try and get it on and off as quickly as possible if you've got to sit click. Okay, next one, click. I was not expecting to cross these trades, but I'm going to go back and look at the ball. I must say thank you, really enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I'm glad you do feel that you learned something. That means an awful lot to me, actually, because that's if I can share the love. And if you do choose to get into Japanese trains, I don't know if you've seen it. I put a video about suggesting a Japanese model railway club, sort of to band together a little bit. For those people, mostly in the UK, who do model Japan, and we can all share and enjoy, and things like coach formations and that can be discussed and gained. Yes. So I say, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So I'm not sure if to do an Anthony Dodge or run the same trains all night now, but yeah, we'll see. I do need to go and fetch my late night dinner. Okay. There we go. I'm afraid you've got me for the... Which Japanese steam locomotive favourite? My favourite class is the D51. Such as that. My favourite of the class is D51-200. Which still runs on SL Yamaguchi to this day. Why? I have no idea. I don't know what it is about the D51 that's infatuated me so much, but there we are. That's something that takes a lot getting used to. There's no named locomotives really. Okay, the Porter in the back there is named, but in the main era of Japanese railways, there's no named engines, which takes some getting used to. But yeah. It's hard to pick favourites now because I've grown to love so many of them. But when I first got into Japanese railways, I didn't really know any, apart from I knew of the D51, and I knew of the one that I referred to as that electric locomotive that looks so purely Japanese. Apart from the fact apparently Spain used them as well, which I now know is an EF66. The front of the cab just reminds me of a Samurai Warrior's helmet. Yes, so D51-200, I suppose it's the videos I saw online. Mostly because I love the D51s. I suppose from the trains, when made the Ingonuts hunting puzzle on that. And was using a D51 a lot for it. Because rather than usually when I initially fell for Japanese railways, it wasn't for steam. The talk at Railway Circle was actually a talk about the guy's past couple of years he'd spent in Japan. So while there were some steam pictures in there, majority was modern day. I'm very much a steam guy. But Japan I came from the modern stuff, and that's why I fell for it. So I've had to sort of discover the steam side of things a bit more. So then I went searching up and I went on YouTube. Videos of SL Yamaguchi were coming up with D51-200 at the front, and it was, yeah. When I found the Kato set for that, where it gets the locomotive and the coaches, I went for it. I'm just saying, not to say I don't love British trains. I do love British trains. So yes, I've had to grow from there. So initially, it was Shinkansens. I was looking at all the different types of Shinkansens or bullet trains, as you may know them more likely because there's one at the National Rail Museum, driving car, and then from there it was some of the light rail. DD13s were pretty early on in my sphere of knowledge, and then that was it basically. Till more recently. Thank you. That is a Kato model, the station building. You get a lighting kit, so you have to fit the lights yourself, and it plugs into the side of the Kato controller, and you get light, which is really nice. It's got the interior as well. I want to put some people and things in there. I want to paint it up a bit inside as well, make it look a bit more real. Not whether it is such, just make sure it's actually a bit more of a, got some colours in there and put some place and people, and as I feel whatever gauge you do, okay, maybe not Z, but even Z maybe, I don't know. I'm not a Z gauge modeler, so I can't speak to the gauge. But once you put lights in things, people are needed because you can see them. So much more readily. So both Kato and Tomix do a complete package basically. Track, locomotives, rolling stock, controllers, scenics, you know, they really do go the whole way. Now this track we're running on has actually got a camber on it, so when the engine is going to the corner they actually are leaning over slightly, like the, what do they call it? It's got a name, doesn't it? I had it for a minute. Yeah, it's got a name. You know where the corners basically are tilted slightly. And this track's actually intended for Shinkansen. That's how it looks so strange. It just serves me really well as a nice double track loop in which to run trains and show them to you guys. I can't. Is it super elevated? I don't know. Excuse me. I'm glad you're finding it relaxing. That's brilliant. That is dead on what I go for with these streams. I hope they are relaxing. Relaxing and informative is what I hope for. I want everyone who comes here to feel welcome and safe. Except for spam. We don't like spam. So trouble with pasta bakes, isn't it? They get. Yes, I know they've been in the oven, but they're volcanic underneath because they've got the layer of cheese on top. Yeah, this is why I'm tempted to keep the same trains on, to be honest, because it's just nice watching them. Though if you'd like to see the 8620 run, do say, or can sort the C50 out to the 8620 and run that. If you run that one, that's fine, yeah. So next time it comes around, we'll bring it to a stop and we'll swap it over. There it comes. Right. Of course it is. This one's closer to me. Do feel right just to reach to a dead stop. Alright, gorgeous. Bit of a Sam's Trains moment, wasn't it? The big hand coming down like that. Okay. There we go. So how has your day been, Thomas? Have you been up to anything railway-wise, or has it just been college or work or school or whatever? Oh, it is gorgeous. Something else to bear in mind, guys. Kyoto steam engines aren't DCC ready. Probably accounts for the price. But they run so freely and so beautifully smooth, as you've noticed, that I don't feel you need DCC with them. The only thing you don't get is a headlight when stationary. I hope my munching isn't getting picked up by the camera, by the mic. How have you been at work? This evening been doing some modelling at Murray. Oh, right, is that one of the working ones? They're really cool. They're really, really cool. Oh, as I see it, work helps to pay for train tokens. Train tokens equals trains, and so it's all good in the end, ultimately. So what do you model with your British 00 layout? Yes, I always find it hard to go with those dipole signals. Thinks, could I modify one to be Japanese? Do you know, it's not a bad idea. They're semaphores. South Coast? Oh, lovely. Lovely. What era? Is it BR or is it Southern or pre-grouping you? What was that? Ah. Sorry for wobbling the camera there. What drink? Just, I know they do N-gauge ones, so I wonder if I can modify one to be a Japanese signal. Just replace the arm and the top and that. And the cap I'll call it the cap, the bit right at the top of the pole itself, just to give it the right styling. That could be cool, working Japanese signals. Thanks. 50s, 60s era, but I do want to go to my Picasso 7 now. Ah, an SECR liveried one. Lovely. Or is it ROD? Of course, nearer recently, I did look at modelling in for UK. In the Folkestone area. You can pick up Sky from 178 and the Bluebell Road. Nice! Oh, you're not far from the Bluebell. Oh, brilliant. Oh, nice. Well, I'm hoping to come to Terrier 150 there. You know when Fenchurch is running again? If Fenchurch is running, I'll be there, basically. So I adore that little terrier. But be more than happy to say hello in person if you were able to go to the event. The bit I struggle with most, I think, with doing Japanese, I don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the Japanese railways and the locomotive models and everything. I don't regret a single one of these. But the one thing that is hard is, obviously in this country, we're just a few thousand miles away. It's not widely known of or spoken about. I've really got no one to talk to about them. That I can mention A620 or C50 and they go, oh yeah, that's such and such, isn't it? They know what I want, we're on the same page. Whereas if I did a British concern, obviously we'd have that common ground, we'd know what we're on about, but it's just a case of getting used to it, maybe? I don't know. So you're about the same distance from the Bluebell as I am from the Great Central. Is 178 Nettle? Because if it is, that's more from Folkestone Harbour. Or once served at Folkestone Harbour. But yes, it's a bit... That's the most lonely bit of Japanese railways for me, is... I've got my friends in Japan, and during the pandemic, the initial lockdown, when we were all locked down, it was far more convenient to be able to talk to my friends over there. Oh, you're a volunteer there, are you? Oh, wow! Brilliant! Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so I think this is why it's still in the back of my head, is still that bit going, do something British, you'll have people to talk to about what you're doing and they'll know what you're on about. As opposed to blathering on about D51s all the time. That's how the voice in my head sounds, I can't help it. But no, brilliant. We don't get many terriers up this way. Apart from the paw, ones with 4 paws, wet nose and a waggy tail. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, a other commitments take over. I find that myself. College took over mostly. College and school took over. Was a huge volunteer at the Battlefield line. Plus the fact at the time they really wasted me as a young volunteer. They wasted all the young volunteers there really. Had we had a consistently working steam engine, I could have carried on with my fireman's training, and I would have found a way to get my studies in as well as for both school and railway. Because Lord knows I put the work in cleaning and oiling up and lighting fires and that sort of thing. I put those hours in, and they've just started showing me. But then the J94 locomotive we had left, the Goma packed up again. And yeah, that was a bit basically. Just because we're going to the power 4 times last in a row. Just what else? Oh, lovely. Well, kudos for having the responsibility to do that. That's the positive I take from that. I apologise if that gets a bit much. I'm trying my best to find positives in everything, because I find negatives too easily and look at the positives and yeah. But no, that is wonderful. That is wonderful. I'm sorry that I don't know if to say sorry or not, but if it's amicable, then yeah, sorry things didn't work out, maybe. I don't know. Sorry, I'll shut up. I'll shut up. I'm making a mess of it. I'm sorry. But I hope Kiddie Wink's alright. There we are. We'll go with that. I hope Kiddie Wink's alright and doing well. I bet they are. I'm sure they are. Especially if Dad likes trains. I mean, that's a win straight away, isn't it, really? Excuse me. Oh. Blow my nose, have a little cough, there we are, we're doing all of them. And that's I don't know. I'm not going to ask how old your kid is, but we've Japanese head, making the hard sale now. Excuse me. Switch go down the wrong way. With Japanese head, you do have Thomas, of course, who actually runs on the main line over there. They did to do with James, a Percy, Hero as well. Hero being a D51, of course. Excuse me. And but Thomas you can get in model. Tomic's now doing ready to run. Or you can use the kit to go on the C11 chassis. The type I've got. If they're a bit older, if they're, again, I'm not going to ask if they're boy or girl, but also there's the Hello Kitty branded stuff nowadays. There's Pokemon branded trains. There's a fully interioured Pokemon train. You know, inside you've got Pikachus and all sorts going down the middle of it. Yeah, there's great hooks to interest younger viewers with the Japanese trains. I feel. that go beyond Thomas as well. I bet you do miss it. I bet you do miss it. I mean, there are times that yes, I miss Shaxton, but on the other hand, I never got into it as much as obviously you did because Mirage got through the finals. I did have some second man turns on the diesel. That was fun. I did enjoy that. This one is one of Class 31 so much, and while I looked at the Kurosco announcement today, I was like, they're doing a new 31. Be still am I beating hard. I want two 31s. I want 31 130 and D58 whatever. It was Brush Veteran. I think now it's got is it 101? Is its full number now, but because the very first locomotive I got to have a drive of was a 31 as well, so they did let me have you on to go. I did get to drive a couple of steam engines and put some coal in and things like that. But they weren't what I'd call a firing turn, obviously, or a driving turn properly. It was a goodness sake, let's try and keep this kid interested and enthusiastic. And it worked. It worked for a time, but obviously once we had no steam engine, it was a bit. And it's like, well, really, you probably should be getting on with your schoolwork and that. Pretty hard to redo anyway. Actually, one of my acquaintances in Japan had a similar have-a-go experience with C62 too the other day, which was like, you get. Interestingly, it's a C62 that holds the speed record for a narrow gauge steam engine. But so just to outline the club for anyone who doesn't know, the club I'm proposing will have no membership fee because even if there was an emailed newsletter, it's not going to take 2 minutes to type up really. But I'm just proposing that sort of if you're modelling something, I mean, initially it will be mostly Japan I'll be focusing for. If you're modelling something outside of where you come from, it doesn't quite fit the continental model railway society's main focus, which to me always seems to be mainland Europe, then basically I'm just proposing like the second Tuesday of the month or a day we can pick. We have a Zoom or a Teams call or Discord or whatever. It could be a video call or not. We can just sit and chat and talk about our railways and link themselves together. And if you have an exhibition layouts like the Happiness Line, or whatever, we can sort of build from there. But build a support network and have like-minded people to talk to. And even if you're only dabbling with a single locomotive and a set of coaches or something, you're welcome. Everyone's welcome. If you're just thinking about getting into Japanese trains, you would be welcome. I'm not looking to exclude anyone. That's the whole point. Is for those who don't know, we've suffered, I've suffered abuse for modelling Japanese railways. It's lost me a channel in the process. I have asked another Japanese model railway owner, or family owner of a Japanese model railway, and they've had abuse for it, including from the Engaged Society, I'm sad to say. Which I'd known I wanted to join the Engaged Society the day before. And I just feel that we can help each other. I'll see you out, new viewers. Konbawa. I can't offer any of you my dinner, I'm afraid. Which, to be honest, I think I've had my fiddle for today. I'll put that bit there. Which is great, because it means I can put it down on the one hand, and on the other hand, I've got some snack tomorrow night. Right, I will swap out the train on the track now. Now I've got my hands free. But basically put, the direction of the hate comes from the direction of people who can't let the Second World War end. So never mind anything else. You know, it doesn't matter that I do specifically go for the post-war era onwards. Excuse me. Right. So I do take my darling D51 off. And I will admit, I was full of nerves earlier about going live with the C50 on, because that train could so easily be a pre-war wartime train. And I thought, that's exactly what they're going at you for. Right. But with the 8620, it's in the condition they're in at the end, so it's very much so there's also this bit of a warning, I suppose, in some respects as well. But you'll find, if you speak to the folks in Japan, or if you're on Twitter or whatever and you post the pitch and they see it, you'll find a lot of support and friendship there. You may not actually talk, but you know, you can guarantee that someone will like what you're putting up, basically. So you see the size difference on these. Passenger cars comparative to the the smaller ones, you'll get a proper. That's probably a good comparison there. Oh, back a bit. Right. I'm off to bed, up early in the morning. Thank you so much for always. Enjoy watching. How's it going to do it? AC is that. That's exactly the idea, yes. And thank you for coming on, Thomas. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Glad you do enjoy it. It really does mean, it means a lot that I'm achieving what I'm setting out to achieve. So thank you very much. Arigato. Take care and sayonara and sleep well, sir. Alright, so we need back up the year 13 now. And then no passenger train back. Should see them come around the corner together. A bit of a bump. So this recreates. What's the? Yeah. It will be Saturday. Saturday, hopefully at 9. If not, it'll be at 10. Let's say hopefully for 9. So much. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'll be running that day yet, but we'll think of something. Right, trying to get this thing sorted out. Still doing updates. So we're not going to be having the 4K stream tonight. Hopefully Saturday will be a 4K stream then. No funny business. There we go. So, there's a span. But yeah, there we go. C50 and 8620 working together now. Alright, let's grab that span. I would do a triple header, but the C50 didn't come with the front coupling to add. So it's only got the cosmetic one. I had the porter to the very front as well, but right, well that's midnight then. So, arigato. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, take care, and I'll hopefully will see you Saturday night for the next one. Till then, bye for now.